This is a Squiz podcast. We're your shortcut to being informed.
Squiz Kids! It's your daily news fix. Fun, free, fresh.
Hello and welcome to Squiz Kids, your fresh take on what's happening in the world around you. I'm Bryce Corbett. It's Friday, May 7. In Squiz Kids today, Starship finally nails its landing. Canada's sign wars go viral. Beware the freaky fanged frog, and woohoo, it's our 300th episode. That's what's making news, kids style.
The Lowdown.
If at first you don't succeed, then try again. That's the moral of yesterday's big space story after the SpaceX Starship, the rocket that in 4 previous trials had blown up while trying to land, nailed its landing and set the scene for the next chapter in human exploration of outer space. Scientists working on the SpaceX Starship program, whose ultimate goal is to ferry humans to the moon and even to Mars, have spent the past 6 months sending 4 test flights into the atmosphere and watching as each one crashed to Earth. But yesterday, in the United States, the Starship rocket took off, flew to an altitude of 10 kilometers above the surface of the Earth, then came back down and landed in one piece. Not only is it a triumph for persistence, it's a great leap forward for American businessman Elon Musk's plans to create a space tourism industry, which is to say he eventually wants to offer flights to the moon, just like airlines these days offer flights to London or New York or Dubai. Just think, in a decade, you might be able to fly to the moon. Crazy, huh? And yes, of course, there's a link to a video of the safe landing in today's episode notes. While we're on the subject of all things spacey, remember that Chinese rocket we talked about earlier this week that's scheduled to fall back down to Earth sometime this weekend? Well, there's an update. While scientists have said it's possible the rocket, or broken up bits of it, could land in a populated part of the globe, it's much more likely it will fall into the Indian Ocean off the coast of Western Australia on Sunday. Now, how do they know that? Simple maths. In the section of the Earth where the junk could fall, the Indian Ocean easily accounts for most of the space. Got a world map handy? See for yourself. And how about this for a fun and vaguely disturbing fact? According to space scientists, there is currently about 9,000 tons of space junk floating around above our heads, which is equivalent to the weight of 720 school buses. Yikes!
Spin the globe.
Each day we give the world globe a spin and find a news story from wherever it stops. And today we've landed in Canada, in the tiny town of Listowel, where a sign war has erupted that has captured the attention of the internet. Hang on, what's a sign war? It's not nearly as scary as it sounds. It's when businesses in a town use the signs outside their shops to send funny messages to one another. It started when a glass company opposite a Dairy Queen ice cream shop posted a sign saying, "Hey, Dairy Queen, want to have a sign war?" And the following day, the sign outside Dairy Queen read, "You betcha glass we do." Get it? From there, sign war fever took over the town, with some really funny messages posted by everything from a pet wash business to a sports store, and all of them using really clever puns. A pun is a play on words. My favourite from the sign wars is the funeral home that posted, "Sign war with us? Grave mistake." I've stuck a link in today's episode notes to photos of the signs and a link to some very funny puns. See if you can come up with some puns of your own today in class.
Animal Kingdom.
Just when you thought it was safe to go back into the garden, comes news that scientists have discovered a new species of frog. And not just any frog. This one is being described as a freaky fanged frog, which sounds like something out of a horror movie. But don't worry, these frogs live in the Philippines, and they're pretty small. And when you look at photos of them, their fangs are kind of small and not really all that scary. Scientists reckon the fangs are used by the frog to protect it from predators and fight off other frogs, which I imagine probably works quite well. Imagine having a fanged frog coming at you. There's a link to photos of the slimy critter in today's episode notes. You just have to scroll down a little bit to see the photo of the fangs.
Squiz Kids salutes.
In this segment, we celebrate extraordinary people doing extraordinary things. And today, we offer up a great big Squiz Kids salute to all the mums out there. Because, of course, this Sunday is Mother's Day. And as we all know, mums do extraordinary stuff pretty much every day. So, if you're lucky enough to have your mum nearby this Sunday, make sure you spoil her rotten and let her know how much she's appreciated. Chocolate seems to work in our household, or a handmade card. Flowers never go astray, or breakfast in bed. Did I mention chocolate?
What's up, Fox?
Every Friday, we check in with Squiz Kids ambassador Flynn, known as the Fox to his friends, to see what he's been reading, listening to, and watching. And given that today is Squiz Kids' 300th episode, he's come up with a list of 300 themed things. On the listening front, it's Bruno Mars's Locked Out of Heaven, the 300th most streamed song on Spotify. In the watching and reading department, it's the movie 300, a sort of historical film about the Spartans, which, in honesty, should only really be watched with an adult supervision. And he's also reading and watching The Three Musketeers, the classic book by Alexandre Dumas, and the subsequent big-budget Hollywood movie adaptation. Well, because we couldn't find any books with 300 in their title. There are links to all of these cool things in today's episode notes. And on a personal note, thank you so much to all of our loyal listeners who have faithfully tuned in over the past 18 months to help us get to episode number 300. We appreciate every single one of you. Now I think I'm going to go and have a lie down.
Time for the quiz.
This is the part of the podcast where you get to test how well you've been listening. Question number 1. What's the name of the SpaceX spaceship that's finally nailed a successful landing? That's right, it's Starship. Question number 2. In which country in North America has a sign war erupted? You got it, it's Canada. Question number 3. Whose special day is it this coming Sunday? That's right, it's Mum's special day. Happy Mother's Day.
Shout-outs.
It's May 7, National No Pants Day in many countries, where people are encouraged to parade around in their underwear. Can I maybe suggest you wait until you get home to join in the fun? It's also a weekend, and that means we've got heaps of birthday shout-outs to get through. So, let's crank out the old birthday reggae tune. And it's a very happy birthday today to these Squiz Kids celebrating a birthday. Mitch from Listerfield, Annabelle from Killara, Sebastian from Campbelltown, Winter from Pascoe Vale, Jack from Abbotsford, Grace from Nowra, Eliza from Croydon Park, Susie from Sydney, Karen from Fremantle, Lisbeth from Banana, and Zeke, who's listening all the way over there in Los Angeles, California. And some belated birthday shout-outs today to Kylissa from Woodhill and Ariane from Girraween. Not forgetting, of course, all of those Squiz Kids celebrating a birthday over this coming weekend. Happy birthday to Yelena from Fairfield Heights, Harry from Walpole, Bob from Hewenden, Kaizen from Jindalee, Olive from Melbourne, Jack and Cohen from Cranbourne, Xavier from Perth, Susie from Riverview, Han from Bexley, Malachi from Oran Park, Boomy from Sydney, and James from Newcastle. Don't forget, if you've got a birthday coming up and you want a shout out, or if you're after a classroom shout out, drop us a line at squizkids@thesquiz.com. Well, that's all we have time for today. Thanks for listening to Squiz Kids. We'll be back again on Monday. In the meantime, get out there and have a most excellent day. Over and out. Squiz Kids is proudly supported by the Judith Neilson Institute for Journalism and Ideas.
Squiz Kids! It's your daily news fix. Fun, free, fresh.